Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today I will be talking about Married at First Sight Season 9. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright y'all, this video is kind of last minute. Like, I almost forgot to record this video because last night's episode was alright. It had its moments of, you know, being very entertaining, but it also wore me out. It was cringy, and the pace was kind of fast because it kept telling you 14 more days, 13 more days, this many more days, but then it was going slow at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain, but I really think they should cut these episodes down to an hour because they're stretching it, and I feel like that's what's making the pacing feel so long and dry on some part. Matt and Amber decided to get all the couples together to go NASCAR driving, which in theory, that sounds very fun. Like, I like driving fast, but something in me would be too scared to do it myself, so I would be like Deanna and like be in the passenger seat like going crazy like woo. But as far as driving myself, I'll be too nervous. I would kill myself. But anyway, in theory, that's fun, right? Until you invite Elizabeth and Jamie. Y'all already knew the most toxic couple on this show was gonna ruin it. So as usual, Elizabeth is talking too much. Like, Elizabeth, why do you always need to hush? It's like she doesn't understand when to be quiet. But anyway, she was doing the most talking, and she was over talking the man that was like giving them instructions and letting them know what they were doing that day. Like, she was over talking him. I do think it was Jamie's job to like pull her to the side and say in her ear, hold on, we trying to hear what we about to do today, or I'm trying to hear the instructions. And honestly, I feel like even if he would have said it in a nice way, she probably would have took offense. But Jamie, when Elizabeth is acting a fool, it's like he has to outdo her. He tells her to shut up in front of everybody. First of all, why were they standing on opposite ends? Were they already arguing? Because I feel like he should have been able to say that in her ear, but y'all were standing on opposite sides when everybody else is standing in couples. And so he says that across everybody. Everybody's like, ooh, oh my goodness. I mean, Deanna's like, well, it couldn't have been me, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't none of my business. So they turn into that couple that is so annoying. That toxic couple that you hate to see them come around because they love to argue and ruin everybody's time and make it awkward. I feel like people were still able to have a good time because they were able to get in the car and get away from them. But it's just like every chance Elizabeth got, she addressed what he did and was basically, you know, just trying to show that she's not being dominated by him. But it's like, girl, this is not how you do it. And then she even refused to participate, which I would have been like, well, y'all can go. Like, I'm sorry, y'all can go, because don't be sitting up here ruining our time because you're upset with your husband. Or y'all need to go over there and fix it or something. Like, don't bring it over here next to me. And I'm surprised they didn't try to involve the other couples. I feel like in a certain way Elizabeth was trying to do that, but nobody bit onto what she was saying. But usually when couples get into it like that, they love to draw other people in. Well, what do you think? Do you think that was right for him to do that to me? I cannot stand that. I do not like that. I feel like that's so out of line and out of order. And I honestly feel like if y'all have an argument, y'all need to take it over there. Like, so since we're already on Jamie and Elizabeth, that fight was a huge fight. Let me make this clear. Jamie was wrong because he has a problem with being disrespectful. He's very disrespectful. But Elizabeth also was out of order as well. So when they get home, Jamie has this thing of reprimanding her. And it's just like, well, both of y'all were in the wrong at this point. Elizabeth broke into this childish tantrum where she even flipped the table. I don't even want to do this. I'm gonna go to my room. I don't want to meet with the doctor. I'm not doing it. Jamie, I'm not doing it. Okay? You're just so mean. And another thing that I see that Jamie likes to do, he knows how to act in front of company in so many words. Especially when the doctor walked in, he tried to act like he was so put together. Even though you lash out and you call her just as many names and you just as childish, but you just know how to do it behind closed doors. And Elizabeth don't care where she is. Dr. Viviana comes over and she tries to get Elizabeth to come out. In the previews, they made it seem like she was cursing Dr. Viviana out, and that was not the case whatsoever. Obviously, I'm someone who doesn't use profanity, but I just feel like there's a time and place. And when you have company over, especially with somebody like Dr. Viviana, you don't even want to say anything that could even be misconstrued as disrespect, because she don't come in there talking like that with you. And she's also a guest in your home. So I feel like, even though I know she didn't mean it like that, Elizabeth has a problem with decorum. It's like she don't know how to carry herself. She wasn't, I'm sorry, she ain't got no home training, because you should, there's certain way you should carry yourself around certain people. I'm sorry. Dr. Viviana gave them great advice. I'm really not even going to go through what she said, because it went in one ear and out the other. Like with them, they'll fight one scene, make up the next scene, and fight the next scene. And it makes me so tired. It's like, why even go over what was said when y'all don't even take any of those tools and use them? They don't never use the tools that were given. They do not do the work. So how am I supposed to sit up here and root for y'all and y'all don't even try to change? Both of them toxic. But she did give them the assignment. She gave all of them the assignment of, you know, revisiting their childhood and sharing something from their childhood homes, hometowns, etc. And so she took Jamie back to where she stayed in a trailer. Apparently she had very humble beginnings. Her parents, from the way Elizabeth described it, she lived in poverty, and her parents built their way to the success that they have now. I believe her father has his own business, if I'm not mistaken, and is doing well. She was very, 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 very emotional when she was revisiting that place. And the thing that stuck out to me is, I would have thought Elizabeth was rich her whole life the way she acts. She acts very, very spoiled, which made me think that when her father did get money, he spoiled her with it. Like, he made up for all that time that she didn't have anything, and, you know, gave her tenfold, to the point where she is being waited on hand and foot by him. And now he's created a monster because she thinks everything should go her way. And I can't even lie, I'm spoiled, and I'm pulling myself out of being spoiled. I feel like Elizabeth is way more exaggerated than I am, but I do want things to go my way. And when they don't go my way, I'm quick to anger. I don't have a lot of patience. And those are things that I'm working on, because I realized from watching her on TV, and I already knew this, but just watching her, it showed me there's no way I could be married and possess those terrible qualities. And so I'm truly working on myself. Even my grandmother tells me sometimes, she points it out when I'm doing certain things. And so this just was like, watching her is like, dang, I do not want to be like this. Anyway, they go from having a sweet, beautiful moment, like I said, from scene to scene. They can't go one, they can't have a good scene without having a bad scene the next one. I'm like, here they go. Elizabeth ends up saying she doesn't regret how she acted at NASCAR, and it's just like, why did you say, what was the point of saying that? Why would she say that? And then, of course, Jamie can never be outdone, and he has to resort to name calling and treating her like a child. Even though Elizabeth acts like a child, you still can't treat her like a child, because that's your wife. And so here we are, back again. The same circle, same cycle, over and over and over and over and over. How many times we gonna do this? Matt and Amber. So they meet with Dr. Viviana. They're moving slower. They're not being intimate with each other. They're trying to get to know each other because they got intimate too fast. Yada, yada. Okay? They go back to his household that he grew up in. And somebody pointed out on Twitter, we need to check and make sure that, did he actually live here? Like, we need to do a whole background check on Matt. I don't believe nothing he said. He could have made all of that up. How would we know? And I just think it's just so convenient that he is estranged from his family. You don't talk to nobody in your family. Nobody. You're estranged from everybody, even your sister you grew up with, even your mama and your daddy. Like, I need to know why. Usually I'm somebody that minds my business, but if you're going to invite me into your life and invite me into this situation, I'm sorry, I need to know why you have no contact with your family. That's actually very important to this story, because you have offered up nothing else. Honestly, if I were Amber, at this point, I would hire a private detective, not only to look up his family history and look up their phone numbers and stuff so I could call, but also to follow him, because we need to know where he's going. We still have no idea where Matt goes when he be gone. Okay, we still don't have no idea. And I don't care about all these cutesy scenes where they're because in the next episode he gonna be gone. So I don't want to, I don't care about that. I'm sorry, I still don't believe it. Deanna and Greg. So everybody knows I love Deanna and Greg together. They're my favorite couple this season. Only two main things happened with them. They had a minor disagreement that they tried to blow up and make it seem like it was a huge argument. Greg was talking over Deanna after he asked her a question, which can be very annoying. If you ask me to give my opinion on what our differences is, give me a chance to answer. Don't try to make me frame it in a positive way. Let me answer honestly. And you know, Greg kept, okay, but wait, let me give you an example. Wait, do it in a positive way. Give me a good example. It's like, Greg, chill. And even though that was quite annoying, and I think things like that could build up over time, because Deanna is already someone who doesn't like to share a lot. It's not easy for her to share. Doing things like that over time could make her shut down. So I understand how that could be serious. So, but Dr. Viviana did a great job of having them work it out and basically give him the tools of ways to ask questions without shutting her down. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I love Dr. Viviana. She is, to me, she has been the best expert that I've ever seen on this show. I've been watching since the beginning. And Dr. Viviana actually gives them tools that when they put them into action, it actually works and we see it working. Shout out to Dr. Viviana. I'm so sorry I forgot your name last episode. You deserve all the accolades, okay? And so it was Deanna's birthday, and Greg threw Deanna a surprise birthday at one of her favorite places. I forgot the name of it. But it's like the golf place where you like go golf. Y'all, I know nothing about golf. And don't care to know either, but Deanna loves it, and so it was like perfect for her. And then when she walked in, her family was there, and I was just like, that was so sweet. Oh my goodness, that was so cute. So he had been talking to her family behind their back, and that just shows me that Greg is very family oriented, and I think that's great to have in a husband. And then he came out with these big signs and this nice cake. It's good to see a couple that didn't necessarily start off in the best place and actually working together to make positive improvements. And you could tell both of them are in it to win it. Like, both of them really, I feel like they both equally care. Iris digressed this episode. She went backwards. It's like she took one step forward to knock back 3 steps. In the beginning of this episode, I thought she was on the right track because, you know, Dr. Viviana told her to step out of her comfort zone and, you know, do different things that they could grow intimately with each other. So she took this dance class where they were all up on each other. I was like, whew. Once again, I was like, okay, Iris, you are really stepping out of your comfort zone. I feel like when I looked at Keith, it made him seem like, okay, finally we're making some progress, right? Even though it was a little cringy because it's like she can never fully give her all. She always has to start laughing and playing it off, and it's like, okay, Iris, just let's give our all into one of these things, okay? But when Dr. Viviana came over, she asked if they were progressing, and I was like, yeah, we're progressing, positive, yeah. And Keith didn't even have a chance to answer, but he was looking very unsure when she asked that question. It's not like his answer was no, but it's not like his answer was yes. So they bring up these cringy clips of Keith and Iris, and I'm like, why are y'all making us suffer through this again? We suffered through it once. I don't want to suffer through any more of these cringy clips. It's like in every single scene of this episode, Keith and Iris had something cringy going on, and I hate sitting there watching cringy moments. Like, I fast forwarded through them watching it because I could not stand to watch it again. I'm gonna read some of my notes that I took from that session. Keith is nervous to push Iris, and she doesn't want to leave her comfort zone. And Dr. Viviana was encouraging them to view this experience as a couple, even though Iris is a virgin and Keith is not. They've never been together, so essentially they're both like virgins to this experience. So view it as you're not in this by yourself, like holding on tight to your virginity. Like, join in together and view it as something that you're tackling together as one. And I'm like, Dr. Viviana, she be coming through with some, like, if you listen to her, she be like really dropping some gems. So she asked Iris to tell Keith a secret that nobody knows, right? And this is supposed to help Keith get to know her on a more intimate level, make them closer. And Iris tell a story about when she was a little kid, she swallowed a quarter and had to go to the doctor. Girl, if you don't get up out of here, a quarter. That's your secret, Iris? I'm sorry, girl. I be trying to have your back, but a quarter? You couldn't think of anything a little bit deeper that could really show Keith who you really are, give him a better look at you as a person. I know of a couple of kids that swallow some quarters. That's why you don't give kids change. But anyway, that's besides the point. Like, I could not believe that she copped out the way she did. That, I feel like Iris thought that was a good enough answer, because afterwards she's like playing around with Keith, like, you know, joking around, and Keith was just sitting there like, Keith had checked out when she did that. You could see it all over his face. He checked out. And I feel like up to this point, Keith thought that Iris was making so much progress. But in that very moment, it's like she regressed, and like, you might as well, if you were building a Jenga tower, you basically knocked it down, because Keith already looks at you as emotionally immature. And if you're not doing the work to actually grow, Keith is not going to stick around for that. And so Iris, I feel like really Iris is on thin ice at this point, and if she doesn't actually try soon, Keith he gonna make it to the decision day, but I don't think he's gonna choose to stay married to her if she don't actually make an effort. And I don't blame him. Now, I'm not saying Keith is no angel, but anybody would be frustrated with this situation. I'm not gonna say she thinks she's perfect, but I don't think she came in this situation knowing how much work she would actually have to do. Like, she's really, I don't know. It's like, even when the doctor came in, she was like, oh, here we go again. I gotta dig deep. Yeah, you have a lot of work to do. Like, you really have to dig deep. First of all, in this next scene, her confessional hairstyle is popping. It's really cute. I like that. I'm gonna be stealing that. So they went to Keith's childhood home, where she got to see, you know, how Keith was when he was younger, get a better idea of who he was. And, you know, that was cute or whatever. But then he goes downstairs and talks with his mother. And his mother, first of all, she's lovely. And he looked just like his mama. Like, he literally has his mama's face. I also feel like his parents raised him well, because Keith is able to express himself pretty good for a man. Like, he's been able to explain exactly what's on his mind in many cases. And, you know, sometimes you just have to drag that out, and he's doing a good job of expressing it himself. But you could just tell that his mom knows him, and she could see that he's not all the way happy with this situation, even though, you know, she knows that Iris is a good woman or whatever. But she did ask him, but are you happy? And he was basically saying, you know, Iris is a good woman, and, you know, he wants to try to make it work. But I think she sees in him that he's tired. And you know, he's already told her what's been going on. I feel like he kept her up to speed of what's going on. And so she just knows her son, and she knows that this situation is, I hate to be like that too, because I really wanted it to work out. They're one of the couples that I was really rooting for. But if Iris, it's really on Iris, and I hate to be like that, because I like to be on the women's side, but it's on her. It really is. But anyway, y'all let me know what you guys think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.